An officer-involved shooting in Sarasota, what police say happened just moments before those shots were fired. A Manatee County animal shelter shut down for days, why owners say it's necessary for the safety of its animals. Plus, no need to wait for delivery when you'll be able to get a hot slice of pizza from vending machines. Your Suncoast News starts now.
You're watching ABC 7 News at noon.
Hello and welcome. I'm Scott Dennis. Thanks so much for joining us this afternoon. First today at noon, breaking news in Manatee County. Sheriff's investigators are on the scene of a homicide in Bradenton. Investigators say they responded to a report of a body on fire in the woods off of 18th Street East in Bradenton. This all happened around 1:15 this morning. They say the victim was already dead when they arrived on the scene. She's been identified as 50-year-old Veronica Polite from Bradenton. An autopsy will be performed to determine how she died. If you have any information, you're asked to call Manatee County Crime Stoppers. That number is 866-634-TIPS. New details are emerging this afternoon about an officer-involved shooting in Sarasota. Officers encountering a man on a bicycle along 12th Street who police say pulled a gun out of his waistband and then was shot in the leg. Police now identifying that man involved. ABC 7's Jess Dowdrick joins us live at the Sarasota Police Department, where a press conference on the shooting has just wrapped up. Jess?
Scott, we're told that that man that was shot by police is in stable condition and he is expected to survive. He's identified as 35-year-old Thomas Gick of Bradenton, but we're told that most recently he's been living at the Salvation Army in Sarasota. Police say Gick was riding his bike in the 2500 block of 12th Street, where there have been 4 burglaries reported in the last couple of days. Police were patrolling the area when they spotted Gick on his bicycle and tried to stop him. Police say he pulled into an alley and pulled a gun from his waistband. That's when police say Officer Adam Arena pulled his weapon and shot Gick at least twice in the legs. Gick's gun did end up being just a BB gun. Gick is charged with aggravated assault of a law enforcement officer, so once he is released from the hospital, he will be sent to jail. Gick is still a suspect in these recent burglaries.
They're not trained to shoot to kill, they're trained to stop the threat. Unfortunately, sometimes when an individual is engaged in this type of a situation, you aim for the center mass, which is the largest portion of the body. Unfortunately, sometimes those injuries will lead to death. In this case, the officer engaged the subject, and the subject or suspect was injured in both legs.
Gick does have a criminal record that includes drug charges, trespassing, and domestic battery. We will continue to keep you updated as the story develops. Reporting live from Sarasota Police Department, Jess Dowdrick, ABC 7, your Suncoast News.
All right, Jess, thank you so much. And to find those updates on these developing stories throughout the day, you can get alerts right to your smartphone by downloading our app. Just go to the App Store and search for the words WWSB or My Suncoast. New at noon, new security measures at the South Florida High School, where 17 people died in a mass shooting. Students at Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School in Parkland were given clear backpacks today as they returned to class. The Broward County School Superintendent says students can still carry sports equipment and musical instruments in non-clear bags, but the items will be searched. The clear bags are just one of several new security measures at the school. Additional sheriff's deputies and Florida Highway Patrol troopers have been stationed at the school since the massacre. The school will soon begin using a single entrance instead of the 4 entrances at the school. Students will also be issued identification badges this week, and metal detectors will eventually be installed on the campus. The Northport Police Department has a new temporary leader. Today is the first day Captain Chris Morales is serving as the department's interim police chief. Former Chief Kevin Vespia retired at the end of March. City manager is still looking for a permanent police chief. Meanwhile, Assistant Police Chief Mike Pelfrey is on paid leave after a complaint was filed for an undisclosed reason. Pelfrey has worked with the city since 2015. A Manatee County animal shelter will remain closed for the next couple of days after an outbreak of a highly contagious virus. At least 5 puppies at Nate's Honor Animal Rescue have been diagnosed with parvo. The shelter will be closed until at least Wednesday. The virus is highly contagious and can be deadly in dogs, causing severe diarrhea, vomiting, and fatigue. This is the shelter's second outbreak in the last 3 months. Nate's staff is cleaning every square inch of the shelter so no other dogs contract the virus.
We have our vet techs working pretty much around the clock as designated people to care for the sick animals. They require a lot of medicine, a lot of fluids, a lot of special care.
Nates has been working with the University of Florida to figure out the best ways to contain parvo and how they can prevent another outbreak in the future. Today, Sarasota City Commissioners will discuss a controversial homeless housing project. Arbor Village will be an affordable housing center project on Fruitville Road, just east of Tuttle Avenue. It will include rooms for the mentally ill and with substance abuse issues. City Planning Board approved the plan 2 weeks ago. City Commission will review it tonight during a public hearing. If approved, developers could break ground on Arbor Village by June, and then it would open about a year later. We'll put your money in the machine, wait 3 minutes, and out comes a hot, fresh slice of pizza. That's the concept behind a new invention by a Sarasota company. It's called 24/7 Pizza Box, and it'll start showing up around the Suncoast this summer. The company plans to then go nationwide and worldwide later this year. Local pizzerias will stock the machines up with up to 72 fresh slices. The company's president says this is the first time this has ever been tried.
There's no novelty factor. The customer's getting great pizza out of this machine. It's not a frozen product. There's no preservatives. It's a fresh, recently baked pizza by the slice.
Marquardt says they'll target breweries, college campuses, airports, and shopping malls. Each slice costs about $3.50. I can imagine on college campuses, that could be a big hit.
Everything old is new again, right?
Yeah, because
back to the automat.
Pizza and school goes together.
Yeah, absolutely right. And hey, if they're local pizzerias that are being highlighted, that's a cool thing. Yeah, and they're all fresh, so could be quite tasty.
Yeah, definitely.
I might have to try one out. Maybe we can get one installed here.
Oh,
and then do pretty well in the newsroom too. I would think.
Really well.
Got some. By the way, welcome back.
Thank you. Great to be back.
Nice to have you here. We missed you. It's good to have you. We have some pleasant weather around this morning. Really no issues. We started off early morning with a little bit of cloud cover, but then that certainly has given way to plenty of sunshine out there. And the sunshine now leading to a few fair weather clouds. The clouds kind of interesting. They're sort of building from two different directions, but none of them producing any rain showers yet. I think we have a chance of seeing some rain showers develop again this afternoon. We're already seeing kind of the effects of a beginning sea breeze with those clouds building in inland areas, mostly east of the interstate, kind of clouds coming from two different directions, actually. One from a southeasterly wind flow and the other kind of coming in aloft on a fast-moving upper-level wind. 78 degrees, the current air temperature of Sarasota, also in Bradenton. Temperatures around the region generally reflective of that value, coming in at 76 in Inglewood, 73 Longboat Key, 79 in Wauchula, 78 in Parrish. So the chance of a shower today is pretty good in inland areas, not so great near the coastline. We'll call it a mostly sunny day or a partly sunny day. Daytime high probably tops out around 82. We'll have the complete forecast coming up in a few. Scott?
All right, John, thank you. ABC 7 business commentator Richard Stern joins us now to check on the day on Wall Street so far. And wow, a new month of April starting today and red numbers across the board.
Scott, you're exactly right. And as the morning went on, the numbers got more and more red, if I can put it that way. Certainly not a good day, not a good day to start the week, not a good day to start the month. And before we get into the month, let's talk about the first quarter of the year. First quarter of the year did end. The Standard & Poor's Index, the 500 Index, both closed lower. That and the Dow closed lower for the quarter, the first time in 9 quarters. The NASDAQ did finish higher for the 7th consecutive quarter. But today, selling across the board from the very beginning, particularly in some of the high-flying stocks that we've seen doing very, very well lately. And frankly, the selling accelerated about 11 o'clock this morning. So let's see how we're doing right now. We're not doing terribly well. Take a look at that. 23,596.91. A loss for the Dow of 506 points, more than 2.1%. That on volume of 418 million shares. The NASDAQ, a big loser, 6,859.26, down 202 points, almost 2.9%. That on volume of 844 million shares. And the S&P also down by more than 2%. The S&P down 2.35%. More than 62 points, that 2,578.02. Well, Tesla has been having its share of problems, and they continue. Tesla today, their shares are down by more than 6%, and that is after having a loss during the month of March of 21%, and that compares with a loss of the S&P in March of just 2%. Tesla has a myriad of problems. I'm sure you probably heard over the weekend of the fatality dealing with one of their automatic cars. Well, guess what? That's not the only problem. The company has now recalled 123,000 of their Model S cars for problems with its power steering system. And that's not the end of that either. The production of its Model 3 continues to be a problem. The Model 3, the quantity of cars being manufactured is substantially below what they originally expected. And Scott, I know you're a car guy, but taking a look at Tesla and some of the problems they've had recently,
Yeah.
just a big, big mess.
I know a lot of frustrated people who have, put down payments on that new affordable Model 3. Their wait may be a long time.
A very long time. You're exactly right.
Exactly. Richard, we'll see you at 5.
Hopefully with some better numbers.
Yeah.
How's that?
Okay. See you then.
Okay.
Thank you, sir. Starting today, MCAT riders have a new payment option. Manatee County Area Transit is offering mobile ticketing, which will allow people to pay their bus fares straight from a smartphone. The one-year pilot program is available through the Token Transit app for the purchase of single ride fares, daily, weekly, monthly bus passes. Still to come in your Suncoast News, a concerning study involving 1 million mothers. What researchers found in common among women with babies who had heart defects. Plus, a happy ending to a rescue mission, how crews were able to find a boy who had fallen into an underground sewage pipe.
ABC 7, your Suncoast News. We're here for you. Watch ABC 7 wherever you are, on our live stream, on mysuncoast.com, on the ABC 7 My Suncoast app, powered by the Eye Associates, providing sight for life, featuring traffic maps and live radar, dining with recipes, and My Suncoast Restaurant Guide. Visit mysuncoast.com. Click on the Apps tab to download the ABC 7 My Suncoast app for Apple and Android.
So Matt told me to meet him at 7 a.m. sharp right here. It is now 7:01 a.m. You think Matt will leave without me? Hey, is Matt here?
Long gone.
Long gone.
Just missed him.
Just missed him.
All done.
Mr. Sparky guarantees they're on time and the repair is free, so chop chop.
Call 888-8-SPARKY.
Matt, you started without me.
I finished without you too.
Being the caregiver for someone you love is truly a blessing. But sometimes you can lose a part of yourself. To be your best, for them and for you, it's important to have time to be able to recharge your batteries. When you call Tidewell Hospice, they can give you a chance to do just that. And with the peace of mind of knowing your loved one is in the very best hands. Tidewell Hospice. It's more than you think.
Fun for the whole family. The 26th Annual Venice Shark's Tooth Festival, benefiting special athletes of Sarasota County. Fossil vendors, arts and crafts, food, children's games, and live entertainment with headliners the Gator Creek Band on Friday night, Rockin' Rogues, Maiden Cane, Glass Onion, Kettle of Fish, Paisley Craze, and the Boogeymen. Admission $4, children 12 and under free. Parking is free. The annual Venice Shark's Tooth Festival, April 13th, 14th, and 15th at the Venice Airport Festival Grounds.
The La Musica International Chamber Music Festival, the annual celebration of a distinctive cultural gem in Sarasota, with renowned musicians from around the world. April 9th through April 18th at the Sarasota Opera House. Visit lamusicafestival.org, click on Festival, open tickets, and get your seats now.
ABC 7, the Suncoast's official Florida lottery station. Now your ABC 7 First Alert weather forecast with meteorologist John Scalzi.
Great shots sent in from a thunderstorm yesterday near DeWitt. This was at about 7:30 last night, 7:30 actually, sent in by Ed Shortman of a funnel cloud. And actually, it's a very strongly defined funnel cloud. No question at all about that one. We had a rotating storm out in Wauchula, or near northwest of Wauchula, that was producing good rotation. It did not become a tornado, and it would have been a very, very, very weak tornado had it done that. But just a signal that, we're entering into a thunderstorm season, so we all need to be on our guards. Cool photo, though, I have to say. And certainly if I had been out in that neck of the woods and saw that in the distance, I would have immediately gotten out my First Alert weather app, because that's a very interesting storm. 78 degrees, the current air temperature, lots of sunshine out there mixed with some fair weather clouds. We've got a dew point value that's high, coming in at 67, making it feel pretty sticky out there. This is almost like a June day rather than an April, or certainly a May day anyway. South-southwest wind coming in at about 10 right now. That southwest wind, that little westerly component, kind of a signal that we're starting to develop a sea breeze, and that will continue on, I think, through the afternoon. Even shift a little more northwesterly, I think, with time. 78 degrees in Sarasota, 77 in Venice, 79 degrees in Northport, 80 already in Mayaca, 81 in Arcadia, 79 in Wauchula. That's exactly what you need, some cooler waters just off the Gulf. Just off the shoreline, and you need some warmer temperatures inland. You need a light wind flow, and that's what's going to get our sea breeze going again this afternoon and trigger off showers and thunderstorms. Mostly all, actually, in inland areas east of the interstate, and 82 degrees by 3 p.m. There'll be some showers around in inland areas at that time, I think. The showers will be continuing to move toward the east at 7 p.m. with a temperature of 77, and then as we head into the nighttime hours, about 66 by 7 p.m. So you put the futurecast into motion, you see all those showers kind of building up east of the interstate, and all of them gradually drifting back toward the east as that sea breeze continues to move further and further inland. And then as we head into the nighttime period and the daytime heating goes away, so too do the showers and thunderstorms. And the winds continue to bring in the moisture. I think it'll be another warm evening, so temperatures will be kept in the 60s. And then tomorrow we'll be back on the way to cracking the 80-degree mark most everywhere. Again, running around 5 degrees above average, I think, for daytime highs, 4 or 5 degrees. So we are in this warm weather picture, this warm weather flow. Really looks like straight through the week, despite the fact that we do have another cold front headed our way. Now, quiet right now on radar, but as I mentioned, that will be changing over the course of the next couple hours as we start to pick up some activity inland. Across the nation, snow showers in New York starting to wind down, but ever so slowly. They're still ongoing around New York City. We have the stalled frontal boundary, which will eventually kind of develop a front that'll move through here on Wednesday. Showers and thunderstorms build inland, move toward the other coast through today. But then as we head into Wednesday, that front coming through will draw down some drier air and make it feel a lot more comfortable around here. Mostly sunny today, a few inland showers possible, and then we wait for that front on the way Wednesday to bring us some really delightful weather, I think. Southeast wind switches southwest this afternoon, as it's doing now, becoming northwest later this evening, 5 to 10 knot wind. Forecast calls for 82 today, 81 tomorrow. Front comes through on Wednesday, lowers our nighttime temperatures and our daytime high for a brief period of time, but keeps us in the lower humidity air for several days. And then we'll wait till the weekend. There might be another front coming our way on Sunday. Scott?
All right, John, thank you so much. Well, a rare spring snowstorm causing whiteout conditions in parts of the Northeast. The storm postponing this afternoon's Rays-Yankees game at Yankee Stadium. You can see all the snow at the stadium there today, and also creating dangerous conditions for drivers. But as ABC's Janae Norman shows us, the system is on the move.
It's a double dose of winter weather. A spring storm packing bitter cold and heavy, wet snow.
So it's Mother Nature's April Fool's to us.
On Easter Sunday, snowblowers and slick roads across the plains and Great Lakes. Chicago had its coldest Easter in easily a decade. That spring system dumping nearly a dozen inches of snow and causing more than 300 car accidents in Minnesota. The storm brought black ice to parts of Wisconsin and created whiteout conditions along I-80 in Nebraska.
This time of year, we're pretty much sick of it.
And the Northeast bracing for another round of spring snow. This following 4 nor'easters in the last month.
I was really excited for spring. I had hope.
And despite a few nice spring-like days, it's not spring just yet for much of the country. Janae Norman, ABC News, Washington.
In Health Smart this afternoon, women who have a baby with a heart defect may have a heightened risk of heart disease themselves. The results of a Canadian study involving 1 million mothers has just been released, and researchers found that among those women, those who'd given birth to a baby with a heart defect were up to 43% more likely to be hospitalized for heart problems over the next 25 years. The study is the first to link newborn heart defects to heart disease in moms. Experts say the reasons for the findings are still unclear. Let's head over to the kitchen now and say hello to ABC 7 Culinary Director Judy Gallagher. Happy Monday to you, Judy.
And happy Monday to you, and welcome back, Scott. I hope it was a great vacation. Well, the heat and humidity are on the rise, and that means I temper down the kitchen a little bit using lighter ingredients. I went to the Sarasota Farmers Market this weekend. I hope you saw our Facebook Live post. Really had a great time with the vendors. Picked up beautiful diver scallops from Maggie's Seafood. Always love that stop. We're going to mix it with some organic bok choy and sauzo, which is a Chinese spinach. If you can't find that or you don't make it down to the farmer's market, you can use regular spinach, and I'll just tweak it a little bit with you, add a little arugula. We're going to bring those flavors together with Japanese sliced eggplant and make this really beautiful sauce. And the spinach and the eggplant works as a base for these beautiful scallops with a little Thai coconut seasoning. I'm going to season them now. I patted them dry, and when we come back, we are ready to start cooking.
Need more space in your place? The More Space Place can help with Murphy beds that disappear to reveal a home office, living room, or den. Custom closets with designated areas for your shoes, bags, wardrobe, and accessories. Custom-built entertainment centers, garage storage systems, and more. The More Space Place has 3 showrooms next to Sunny's on US 41 South in Sarasota, on Lakewood Ranch Boulevard just south of State Route 64 in Bradenton, and on Tamiami Trail next to Panera Bread in Port Charlotte. Put more space in your place at the More Space Place.
The Wild Broadway series brings you Funny Girl. Fanny Bryce dreams of being famous and through sheer guts and determination becomes a star of the Ziegfeld Follies. Playing March 28th through April 15th, it's the songs and story that generations have grown to love. Call the Players Center at 365-2494 or visit us at theplayers.org. Don't rain on my parade. Come see Funny Girl.
My name is Blake. I received a heart transplant when I was 2 weeks old. I play defense for the Red Hot Tornadoes. Sometimes my heart starts pounding like faster and faster as I go. I know I have someone else's heart inside me. It makes me feel happy because someone was generous enough to give me a second chance to live.
This gift of life was made possible by an organ donor. Imagine what you could make possible. Sign up as an organ, eye, and tissue donor. Go to organdonor.gov.
I'm a scientist.
Recycling takes a team.
Why don't you let me and me help you out?
Everyone plays a part. Don't trash
I love taking stuff apart and building new things out of it.
what could be treasure.
Pal's my most advanced android. This is awesome. You haven't seen anything yet.
Give your cardboard box another life. Recycle.
ABC 7 News at 7 weeknights.
Now to a developing story in California of the car crash that killed a family. Investigators now believe that crash may have been intentional. Sarah and Jennifer Hart, as well as 3 of their 6 adopted children, have all been confirmed dead. Crews are still searching for 3 other siblings who have been missing since the accident. Investigators believe 16-year-old Hannah, 15-year-old Devontae, and 12-year-old Sierra may have been in the car when it plunged off a California cliff.
Under the assumption at this point that Devontae, Hannah, and Sierra were in the vehicle, but we don't have 100% information to suggest other than our assumption that they were together. That is still being investigated and looked into.
According to the California Highway Patrol, it does appear the vehicle went slowly over that cliff. There were no signs of any skidding or braking by the vehicle. New developments in a rescue operation in California. A 13-year-old boy has been found alive after falling 25 feet into an underground sewage pipe. Jesse Hernandez fell into the drainage system while he was playing in a maintenance shed yesterday. The drainage flows into the Los Angeles River through an intricate system of pipes moving at about 15 miles an hour. Crews used floating cameras to find Hernandez. He was found earlier this morning, alert and talking, and was taken to a local hospital to be checked out. An extravaganza in Washington, D.C. this morning is President Trump, First Lady Melania Trump, hosting the 140th annual Easter egg roll on the White House's South Lawn. Around 30,000 people got to come out and enjoy the event. They got to do some lawn bowling, reading area, card making station for troops, egg and cookie decorating stations, and of course, the egg roll itself. This Easter tradition started during the Rutherford B. Hayes administration. Back to the kitchen now to check in again with our culinary director, Judy Gallagher, to find out what she's cooking for us on this Monday. Judy.
Well, Scott, I'm ready to get going. We're making Japanese-style pan-seared diverse scallops with Japanese eggplant. Beautiful scallops from Maggie's Seafood at the downtown farmers market. You want to go there on the early side because they tend to sell out early. The lines get big right about 7:30 or 8. So I'm really fortunate. This is a total of 2 packets that I'm using. So I'm going to use 2 different pans. We're going to sear the scallops, which are going to take a very short time. Like I said, I decided to sprinkle them with this beautiful coconut Thai seasoning from the Spice and Tea Exchange. So I'm going to put them so they hit the heat evenly. Place that around. So I'm going to just hit that peanut oil I have right there. You can also substitute grapeseed oil or even canola oil. Sesame oil's going to be a little bit too strong for something so delicate as scallops. You always want the fish to really have its own uniqueness. Just slightly pick up the seasonings that you're using, but you don't want to overpower such delicacy. Now, let's get started on the Japanese eggplant. They come in long pieces. They're that light, beautiful purple color. We're going to add that to a pan, okay, and start to saute those. And we're going to add, I added a little oil already into this beautiful minced shallots and garlic. And that is just going to be a flavor pop. So now we have some lemongrass paste, and I'm going to stir that right in. And the thing about lemongrass and even ginger, if you don't have fresh, I've showed you, you can use that ginger juice from Whole Foods. You can also buy a container of Gourmet Garden, which has pureed ginger, many different seasonings. So we're going to just saute the eggplant just for about, honestly, about 2 minutes, because what we don't want to do is we don't want to overcook it. Eggplant gets mushy, and we want to get it just before it gets to that point. So that's sauteing. Let's take a peek at our scallops. See, there we go. See that brown crust? That's all you want to look for. So we're talking less than 2 minutes per side. I'll finish these scallops searing, and when you come back, we'll make the sauce for the eggplant, and we'll saute up that Chinese spinach and have a beautiful light summer dish ready to go.
I just had a very educational ride with Nina.
Did you learn anything?
Where do I begin? So all this stuff goes into a safety check.
Yep.
It's a long list.
It's important stuff.
Test the smoke detector.
Yep.
Check the breaker box.
Yep.
Meter the GFCIs.
Ground fault circuit interrupters.
Well, I knew that.
Call 888-8-SPARKY.
Nina, you make it look easy.
Thanks, but don't do it yourself.
Who's your guy?
You know, fortunately, this was my first job out of college, so I was able to come back home and work in my hometown. I wore two hats. I was sports director and I was a news anchor. I did that for a few years and then decided to go full-time into news. Well, I love our team here at ABC7. We have a great mix, and it really is a great mix of personalities, of experience that meshes really well into a really strong team. I'm Scott Dennis, and I'm here for you.
One of the motivating factors for me to become a Big Brother was that I was mentored as a youth. And it was important for me to kind of pass forward the things that were kind of given to me. It's really just as simple as getting to know a kid. You don't have to be an athlete. You don't have to be rich. You don't have to have any of those other things. You just have to be willing to spend a little time and help mold some young person's life.
All hands on deck. What's up? I want to point out 3 tips for using the home computer more safely. Point away.
First, stop. Make sure your software is up to date and that you've password protected your computer's login and Wi-Fi connection.
Next, think before visiting a site, opening attachments, or clicking on links.
Then connect, knowing you're helping make the web safer for you
and for everyone. Make Stop, Think, Connect part of your daily online routine.
You're watching ABC 7 News at 12:30.
Welcome back. Topping our news this half hour, the president back on Twitter with a message about DACA. He's blaming Democrats for not having a deal to help the hundreds of thousands dreamers. ABC's Serena Marshall shows us where things stand.
The president back in D.C. and celebrating Easter at the White House and back on Twitter this morning, writing about caravans of people traveling through Mexico and how the Mexican government must not allow them to pass into our country, calling on Congress to act and use the nuclear option if necessary. He claimed DACA is dead because of Democrats, and now everyone wants to get into the DACA bandwagon.
The Democrats have really let them down. It's a shame. And now people are taking advantage of DACA, and that's a shame.
Democrats had offered $25 billion for the president's promised border wall in exchange for a pathway to citizenship for those dreamers. But the president turned them down, as it didn't include changes to visas or cuts to family-based migration. The tweet storm on dreamers all started on Easter Sunday, following this Fox and Friends segment about a caravan of migrants from Central America.
Because they're breaking Mexican laws as well.
The semi-annual protest march takes travelers to an official U.S. border port of entry, where they seek political asylum. Roughly an hour later, this presidential tweet: "There will be no deal to renew DACA." And the message contrary to what he said during that bipartisan meeting earlier this year.
There should be a bill of love. If they come to me with things that I'm not in love with, I'm going to do it.
The problem under current DACA rules, recent arrivals would never qualify for the program. To qualify, you have to be under the age of 31 in 2012. You had to arrive before 2007 and have been under the age of 16 at the time. Serena Marshall, ABC News, Washington.
China is following through with its trade threats. The Chinese government says tariffs on about $3 billion worth of U.S. imports will go into effect today, impacting roughly 128 products in all. The sanctions that were first proposed more than a week ago are in response to President Trump's tariffs on imports of steel and aluminum. China plans to impose tariffs on 15% of items such as fruits, nuts, wine, and steel pipes. Tariffs of 25% on items like pork and recycled aluminum will be enforced as well. If you're planning a summer vacation, get ready to pay a little more for a passport. Starting today, the Department of State is increasing the passport fee from $25 to $35. The fee only applies to passport applicants using the DS-11 form. That's for things such as first-time applicants over 16, children under 16, and applicants who reapply after their previous passport was lost or stolen. The fee increase does not apply, though, to adults eligible just to renew their passports by mail. After weeks of anticipation and guessing, an 8-ton Chinese space station has finally crashed down to Earth. It re-entered the Earth's atmosphere and plummeted into the middle of the South Pacific near Tahiti overnight. That's according to China's manned space agency. Most of the parts burned up on the re-entry process. The space station was one of China's highest profile space projects. It was launched in 2011 as a prototype for China's ultimate space goal of a permanent space station that's expected to launch around 2022. Glad it didn't hit any land.
Yeah.
For sure. Yeah.
I guess that was the best possible scenario.
Yeah.
That worked out in the they call it the spacecraft graveyard out there in the Pacific.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, pretty cool. We have across our region some very tranquil, nice weather out there. It's beautiful, you know, a lot of sunshine. We had some very mild weekend temperatures. We've got a few fair weather clouds that kind of moved in. Very zonal flow coming in across the skies, and that's allowing for, I think, a development of a sea breeze again this afternoon at lower levels. That'll help to spawn a shower or two in inland areas. And we're already starting to see those clouds lining up along a developing sea breeze front. That sea breeze gives us a good chance of inland showers, but not so good for showers near the coastline. If you're looking for some showers on your lawn and you live west of the interstate, you're probably not going to get much in the way of rainfall today. 79 degrees in Bradenton, 78 degrees in Sarasota. Inland temperatures, most of them already hitting the 80-degree mark or above. And we will continue to watch that inland air get warmer and warmer as the sea breeze begins to strengthen and move inland. 82 degrees, we'll call it, for a daytime high near the airport. And then as we head into the evening, we're down into the 70s and eventually the 60s. Talk about the forecast in a sec. Back to you, Scott.
All right, John, thank you. Ethan Couch is now out of jail. He's the man who served 2 years behind bars in Texas for a parole violation after killing 4 people in a drunk driving crash. Couch made national headlines as the affluenza teen, and now some of the victims' families are speaking out. ABC's Maggie Rulli has the latest.
The infamously dubbed affluenza teen is now a free man. Ethan Couch has been released from this Texas jail after spending 720 days behind bars.
If you do wrong, your punishment is fit for what you did wrong. And it's not even close.
Joseph Anz's sister, Brianna Mitchell, was one of the 4 people killed when Couch got behind the wheel of his father's souped-up pickup truck while drunk in 2013.
Oh, Lord, oh, yes, there's another child in the ditch. Oh, my God.
Couch's defense argued that the then 16-year-old was too rich to know right from wrong, calling it affluenza.
Affluenza.
Affluenza. Too rich for jail.
He was convicted but did not have to spend a single day in prison, instead slapped with 10 years probation. Then in December 2015, Couch and his mother disappeared after a video surfaced that allegedly showed Couch violating his probation. They were found in Mexico and he was extradited back to Texas.
You're not getting out of jail today.
This time, Couch was sent to jail, but now 2 years later, a chaplain says Couch has changed.
I think he has made clear to me that he needed time behind bars, just to really get him to the place of ownership.
Couch is now on probation. Couch now has an ankle monitor, and if he violates his strict probation, he faces up to 10 years per violation, meaning with 4 victims, he could find himself back in jail for 40 years. Maggie Rulli, ABC News, New York.
A convenience store clerk in Memphis, Tennessee is facing murder charges after police say he shot and killed a 17-year-old boy who had stolen a can of beer. Police say Dorian Harris walked into the store Thursday night and stole that can of beer. Police say the clerk, Anwar Ghazali, grabbed a gun, chased Harris out of the store, and fired several shots, hitting Harris in the leg. Harris never got treatment for that gunshot wound, and his body was discovered 2 days later on the side of a home. Jury selection is underway in Bill Cosby's sexual assault retrial. The process of picking 12 jurors began this morning in suburban Philadelphia. The 80-year-old comedian is charged with drugging and molesting a former Temple University athletics administrator at his home in 2004. Last June, after more than 6 days of jury deliberations, a jury declared a mistrial. Well, over the weekend, a funeral was held for the late Stephen Hawking, with the actor who played him on the big screen leading the tributes. ABC 7's Stephanie Webb has more with Eddie Redmayne.
Oscar goes to Eddie Redmayne!
This belongs to all of those people around the world battling ALS. It belongs to one exceptional family, Stephen, Jane, Jonathan, and the Hawking children.
Eddie Redmayne took home the Oscar for his portrayal of Stephen Hawking in The Theory of Everything, with Hawking even congratulating Redmayne after the win. The two struck up a friendship on set, and it stayed close ever since the movie. Hawking died on March 14th and was laid to rest over the weekend. Not only was Redmayne one of the first to arrive at his funeral, but he also performed a Bible reading. Before the movie's premiere back in 2014, I had the chance to sit down with Redmayne, and it was clear he put his heart and soul into playing a man he so admired.
Stephen Hawking is such an inspiring and extraordinary mind and human being that it was my luck and privilege to have the opportunity to even try and embody him.
Does it feel intimidating to play this person that is still alive and from what I read was on set while you were filming some of these things? That had to be incredibly intimidating. Oh, you're fine. You're fine.
It was really, it was every step, because for me it was just so important that it was about representing Stephen, representing Jane. His kids are represented in the film. The science is represented. You want to do that with authenticity, but also, you know, in the process of playing Stephen, I met maybe 50, 60 people suffering from motor neuron disease. You want to represent the disease with authenticity because so many families and people are affected by it.
Stephanie Webb for ABC7, your Suncoast News.
All right, back to the kitchen now. It sure smells good over there right now. Let's get back to Judy Gallagher.
So now you're going to get an even bigger pop of flavor, Scott, as we start to add the sauce. So I have some ponzu, which is soy sauce with citrus. As long as you're using a low sodium, gluten-free soy sauce, you're going to be fine. You can always add a squeeze of lemon or lime in there. That brings in the citrus notes. So we're going to go ahead and add that to the sauteed eggplant. And as I mentioned, we're being careful not to overcook the eggplant because this is the part where we have to watch out for. I added a little more ginger and a little more shallots. And shout out to my son Eric Williams for helping me with this recipe. His flavor profiles are just so good. So we're going to let this reduce just for about, 10-15 seconds. Nice light sauce. Then I've taken some cornstarch with water, and I should mention that I also added some castor sugar, which we usually use for baking, just about a teaspoon or so to balance that out from the sodium content. Now, once we add this little slurry of cornstarch and water, you want to keep a little more water nearby, and I have a little water bottle. See how that thickened up so quickly? You don't want to overdo, but you want to get that sauce simmering just a bit. And we have some already done right here, so you can see that it's reduced down. And the flavor really adheres to the Japanese eggplant that's so light. Now we'll take our Chinese spinach. And like I said, you can do, if you don't have Chinese spinach, you can use regular spinach for sure. The Chinese spinach, if you get it at Warden Farms, what I love about it, Tatsu, it has a tang to it, and the stems are nice and thick, adding a richness of vitamins that we all need. So it's just so enjoyable, but rinse that really, really well, because that's coming straight from the farm. So a little toss in there, maybe a little more coconut Thai seasoning, and you can see the eggplant is done. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a nice shaped plate, and once the spinach is wilted, I'm going to put the spinach with this little bit of bok choy on the plate, and there we go, it's starting to wilt just beautifully. Then we're going to layer it with the eggplant and then the scallops. So when you come back, we are going to have the lightest lunch for a really warm day. Come back in just a few minutes and we'll have a taste.
My name is Stefan Campagna. We're Ben Gates and Dramus, and here is your law tip of the week. If you've been injured in a car accident, the state of Florida only gives you a specific amount of time to file a claim. So act now, give us a call.
Today, everyone is looking for carpeting that lasts longer. G. Fried has you covered with Karastan. With a legacy of quality and integrity, we provide you with a huge selection of Karastan carpets with exclusive lifetime limited warranties. All installed by our highly skilled, highly knowledgeable team. Come ask us why Karastan is the best and most durable. G. Fried Flooring America. Our world is at your feet.
They are the greatest fighting force the world has ever seen. But what does it take to bridge the distance and keep them connected to family, home, and country? What does it take to strengthen our service members so they can be the greatest force for good in the world? It takes a force. Be a force behind the forces. Give today at force.uso.org.
What to expect when you're expecting a teenager.
Today we're talking about how to wake up your teen, and this works literally every time.
Good kisses. Good kisses. You heard how loud
I heard. It wasn't you. It was the...
Is that bacon? You don't have to know it all to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same.
Enjoy some of the best Suncoast restaurants on me. Just go to mysuncoast.com/dining, sign up for the newsletter if you haven't already, and you can win a $50 gift card to a restaurant in our area. We'll pick a winner each week, so go on our website and sign up now.
Now your ABC 7 First Alert weather forecast with meteorologist John Scalzi.
So looking at Tower Cam here, a beautiful shot out there. We're looking at some clear skies and just a beautiful afternoon with only fair weather clouds out there currently. I think as we head into the afternoon, we'll continue to see a lot of fair weather clouds near the coastline. But as you head further inland, a few of those clouds will actually develop into rain showers. 78 degrees the air temperature, dew point coming in at 67, south-southwest wind at 10, and plenty of sunshine around. We'll watch that south-southwest wind continue as the sea breeze continues to strengthen and build over the course of the afternoon. Temperatures across the region generally hugging that 80-degree mark most everywhere. A little bit cooler near the immediate coast, a little bit warmer in inland areas. And with the water temperature now just a little bit cooler, I think the onshore sea breeze is going to actually keep the coast just a tad bit cooler. Probably just touching the 80-degree mark at the beaches. It will certainly, on the other side of 41, probably hit the 82, 83 mark, and probably mid-80s as you move inland. We'll go with 82 at the airport by 3 p.m. and then 77 degrees by 7 p.m. The fair weather cloudiness building showers and thunderstorms inland. Those thunderstorms continuing to move further away from the coastline as we move into the later afternoon. Futurecast shows those showers building inland, gradually drifting further inland, and then temperatures near the coastline being a little bit cool. I think that's a fair representation with the onshore wind flow turning even more to the northwest with time. We'll watch those showers dissipate as we head into the evening hours, and then coastal temperatures drop into the 60s, and when you wake up in the morning, probably around 66 degrees for a morning low. Then temperatures kind of rebounding pretty quickly, back up into the 80s tomorrow. And we may just do it all over again with a few scattered inland showers again tomorrow. And then we'll watch, I think, as we head into the next couple of days, a frontal boundary approaching that'll maybe take some of that moisture away and reduce the rainfall chances. Titan radar quiet right now, as it will be for the next couple of hours, I think. We have a frontal boundary back to the north of us and a couple of areas of low pressure. These are all going to eventually kind of coalesce into one front that'll move through here on Wednesday. Until then, lots of snow showers in the northeast, as I mentioned. Rain showers in inland areas for us, dissipating as the heat goes down. Mostly sunny, an inland shower, and then a front on the way. Snowfall totals, by the way, are going to be impressive with this storm system as it moves away. I think we've seen up to 4-inch snowfalls. I think what's left of this is probably on the easternmost sections of Long Island, where they could get another 3 inches of snow. And if you think it's not a problem, LaGuardia right now is coming in with a 123-minute delay. That's across the boards in the airport. Thunderstorm activity to the north of us could be strong to even severe. For us, standard thunderstorms will apply later on today. Beach and boating forecast looks good. Southeast switching to the southwest as we head into the evening hours. And the forecast calling for 82 for a high today, 80s for the next several days. A little bit cooler on Wednesday as the front moves through and brings in some drier air that takes us right into the weekend. And over the weekend, maybe another front, again, just reinforcing some of that lower humidity air. Scott?
John, thanks so much. If you've recently shopped at a Saks, you may want to check your bank information. The parent company of Saks Fifth Avenue says Saks Off 5th and Lord & Taylor is dealing with a data breach. A New York-based security firm that uncovered the breach says a hacking group is boasting on dark websites it was selling up to 5 million stolen credit and debit cards. The retailer is now offering free identity protection services. Number of stores or customers affected has not been released yet. Remember, there is a Saks Fifth Avenue at the University Town Center Mall and a Saks Off 5th at the Ellington outlets. Facebook claims it's now doing more to protect your personal information. The social media website is taking steps to make sure advertisers get your permission before using your information for marketing on Facebook. The company is building something called a certification tool that will require advertisers to confirm they have your permission. Amazon's automated store in Seattle has more big retailers working to match it. Walmart and Kroger's are trying out robots and scanner systems that are meant to save on labor costs and improve customer experience. One analysis says up to half of the world's retail jobs could be lost as more and more automation is used. The checkout line at more stores could speed up soon. Starting on April 14th, MasterCard, Visa, and American Express, and Discover as well, are all ditching the requirement for shoppers to sign receipts. It'll then be up to the individual store owners to decide if they still want those signatures on purchases. Still to come in your Suncoast News this afternoon, an April Fool's Day prank, what one director did to fool his fans online.
Fun for the whole family, the 26th Annual Venice Shark's Tooth Festival, benefiting special athletes of Sarasota County, fossil vendors, arts and crafts, food, children's games, and live entertainment with headliners the Gator Creek Band on Friday night, Rockin' Rogues, Maiden Cane, Glass Onion, Kettle of Fish, Paisley Craze, and the Boogeymen. Admission $4, children 12 and under free. Parking is free. The annual Venice Shark's Tooth Festival, April 13th, 14th, and 15th at the Venice Airport Festival Grounds.
Our accolades are great. Just wait until you see our prices. Rugs as Art, Sarasota's only area rug superstore.
I'm Deshauna Barber. In 2016, I was proud to win the title of Miss USA. What makes me just as proud is my service in the U.S. military. In the service, a soldier gains skills and learns values like discipline and leadership. That makes them an asset to any business that hires them. If you're an employer, on behalf of Coalition to Salute America's Heroes, remember to hire smart and bet on a vet. Visit saluteheroes.org or call this number to learn more.
It's been about a month, and I can honestly say I've seen the change in me. I went from being a depressed girl who didn't want help to this happy, caring girl who loves helping other people. I just really hope that people that went through what I went through get the help that they need, because their story is important and they are loved. Thank you so much for everything.
Imagine a world filled with pillow fights, playgrounds, and the search for the perfect climbing tree. Every kid deserves that world, but 1 in 5 kids in America struggle with hunger. At No Kid Hungry, we're committed to creating a world where every kid eats healthy food every day. We raise funds, we help families, and we lift up communities.
Check out My Suncoast Dining on mysuncoast.com, your guide to the foodie lifestyle. ABC7's own Chef Judy serves up her favorite recipes, cooking tips and trends, dining blogs, step-by-step videos, and Suncoast Restaurant Guide. You'll find it all at mysuncoast.com/dining.
Well, I've been noshing away during the break, and I'll tell you, it's delicious.
Thank you. And it's light. So we have, you know, I like the nutrition point of it is we're getting our dark greens in. Anything Asian style I love, but cooking in the Japanese way of umami, of just simple flavors come together, and I love it with the Japanese eggplant.
The eggplant's awesome. I'll tell you what, I remember back in the 50s style of cooking things till they were, you know, soggy and wilty.
Right,
and
right.
This is so good and crisp and still got all the flavor.
You have to have that little bite, right? So you can have it both, and you can have that little bit of glaze in the sauce that we made. Just a teeny bit of cornstarch, brought up the flavors with garlic and ginger. Thank you.
Really awesome. Recipe for it's on our website, mysuncoast.com. Click on the dining link page, and all the information will be there. Did you have a good holiday weekend?
I had a great holiday weekend.
Leftovers?
Wow, not really, but I had the worst cooking nightmare of my life. I'm going to admit it.
What?
I was in charge of making the prime rib. I went for a power walk. It came out well done. So see,
what'd you do?
Even I cried and apologized to family and said I'll do over this weekend.
See, even great chefs have mistakes. You just keep on keeping on, right?
You have to.
Scott, back to you.
All right, thank you both. The director of the upcoming Shazam movie had a bit of fun with his fans for April Fool's Day. David F. Sandberg tweeted a video of a parody trailer for Shazam over the weekend featuring footage from the 1970s TV show set to music by AC/DC. Fans will just have to wait for a real first look at the upcoming movie, which is more than a year away from release. So, having fun with his fans. I guess it worked.
Yeah. Good stuff. A lot of holiday pranking going on, you know, over the weekend. April 1st.
That's what happened to my prime rib.
That's
it.
it.
It was a prank.
Have a wonderful day, everyone.